Hi, I'm back again. Okay, so what I was saying is about Khalji. We had Jalaluddin Firoz Khalji from 1290 to 1296. He was very lenient with his people. He got his daughter married to one of the Mughal leaders called Ulugh Khan, and then he was succeeded by his nephew Ali Gurshab, who took the title of Alauddin Khilji. Now, Khilji was a very powerful and dangerous fellow. He was mad about money and all. You must have watched that movie Padmavati. In that, Khilji's character is shown, and he wanted to conquer all over India, and he had a vast empire like the empire of King Ashoka. His economic measures were very useful. He put tax on the land which were actually fertile, not without fertilizer. So according to the land, the fertilization, according to the fertility, he had charged tax, and then he had put tax on that Ganga and Yamuna river of the in the Doab part. He had put it one half of the production or whatever the harvest is going to be done. Then he allowed. Then other officers were not allowed to take additional taxes. He had tried to control the corruption, and this system was also followed by Sher Shah and Akbar later on, but we are also still following it. But still we pay bribe, we have to pay bribe sometimes. Alauddin introduced the market control policy. The market control policy is he made all things very cheap, like fooding items were and oil and clothes were mainly very cheap, because he wanted to maintain a big army with cheap expenses. And if you pay them cheap salary and if the prices are high, you cannot maintain it. So he kept a cheap salary, a less salary for his army, but at the same time he lowered the prices. So within that money they could maintain their lifestyle. The only people, and they were made sure that the shops don't charge extra to all the customers, and even if they cheated, they would have been put into a very bad severe punishment. And then he put the policy of that many people were becoming poor of this policy, and mainly were affected the Hindus, because he did not want anyone to rebel, and they were also not allowed to use gold, silver or any type of metal or tankas or jitals or anything, and they were not given the luxuries of life, and they were not allowed to chew betel, that is the pan also they were not allowed to choose. What was the reform in the army he did? Revenue reforms in the army made more money available to him. So with that money he was able to maintain a large standing army. The revenue which was coming in, the tax and the money which he was saving, he made then he paid his soldiers in cash. He had a huge army, but if you have seen that movie Padmavati, you would have seen Khalji, his army standing there. Oh my God, what an army he had. He paid his soldiers in cash. He started branding his horses with the dag. You make that mark with a seal, you heat that iron and put it on the animal's back or on the hip, on the back leg, to make sure this horse is this quality, that horse is that quality. He started putting dags, marking his animals from the good and bad. Then he had that identification of his soldiers, full description of the chehra, means the face, the chehra, the identity of each and every soldier. He had accounts of it. And then he also had spies in all over his kingdoms, where it was taken care of. They used to give him about all the developments, who are rebelling, who is doing bad, who is doing good. All this information was there. This was also followed by Sher Shah and Akbar. But after Alauddin's death, a war of succession broke out. The last Khalji ruler was Khusrau Malik. Ghiyasuddin defeated him and started the Tughlaq dynasty. So Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq started the Tughlaq dynasty from 1320 to 1325. The last Khalji Sultan was, or the last Khalji ruler was Khusrau Malik. So I am going to bring to you a brief explanation of this in a better, much more expanded way, on a elaborated way, so that you'll be able to understand actually the causes and all what happened. So we'll keep it till here. I'm going to meet you on Tuesday, and I'm going to give you till here. Then I'll explain you Tughlaq dynasty, and then we'll go through the Karachi expedition. Then we are going to try to finish this chapter. So it's going to take another 2-3 video classes. I guess next week, Tuesday and Thursday, we'll finish chapter 3. It will be easier for us, and so that by the time I'll get ready with the question answers of this chapter also, so you'll get it soon, and you'll be able to go ahead with it. Okay, so guys, take care. be good, and stay home, stay safe, and take care of yourselves. And please do make your own notes also, if as much as possible. Don't hit the question answers first. You just first read the chapter, try to understand what is happening, go into it, read my notes which are there. That's going to be very helpful, much more than whatever is there in the book. It is there, that is for question answers, but to know about that actually what happened is much more interesting. So you will know it for a lifetime. So take care of yourselves, be good, and see you on Tuesday, and have a great weekend, and enjoy yourselves, and do whatever you want after you do your studies. Bye bye and take care. God bless.